Tonight, I would like to introduce you to the Water Ethiopia project, an ACME existential opportunity. Together, we can bridge the gap between Ethiopian villages and water securement, one well at a time.
Keep running, faster.
I can't. I'm too thirsty. We need water.
Tonight's agenda: an introduction, the mission statement, notes about myself. We'll cover the following 8 topics and conclusion. Our mission: to facilitate water securement for over 3,000 persons in 10 remote villages in Ethiopia. ACME Essential manages domestic investments in water securement infrastructure in concert with Ethiopian villages, government agencies, to establish sustainment well projects in deserving villages. Here's some notes about myself. I'm a senior hydrogeologist and lead domestic fundraiser for ACME Existential. I spent over 20 years with the ACME Corp in the mineral division as a senior hydrologist, and I've led many drilling and mining projects on continental Africa. Here's an extensive breakdown of our budget. Our budget is ASCO 80/20 compliant. In short, that is the oversight for the managing of nonprofits in Ethiopia. They're really sensitive to mismanagement of nonprofit organizations, and so they have a mechanism where they try to ensure that most of the money goes towards the actual projects and not the paying of persons or administration. So of the 120K that you ultimately donate possibly to the project, only 24 of that would go towards administrative costs domestically. Here's a breakdown of the administrative costs. You see the $6 million nonprofit filing fee, attorney fees both in America and Ethiopia, and annually we only carry a $6,000 admin U.S. staff budget, meaning myself and there's 2 other persons on the team. We only get paid $6,000 annually. Here are the direct costs of the project. Again, adhering to the ASCO 80/20 rules. On average, we're spending about $7,000 per well, and so times 10, roughly about $75K, and then another 1,000 or so. But ultimately, we exhaust 120,000 within paying for 10 wells, drilling, licensing, Ethiopian buy-in from their organizations, their government. So this is pretty encompassing of the 2-year budget. We would leverage Ethiopian contractors to drill the wells, and here's an example of the equipment they'd be using. Also, for the borehole construction materials, standard issue, PVC pipe, concrete. But again, we are limited to what we can import, so whatever we build this well out of, it'll be pre-approved by the Ethiopian authorities before we ever pursue digging a well. Next slide, please. Here's a breakdown of the pump that we selected. It's known as the AfriDev hand pump. This pump is pretty simple to disassemble and reassemble. One of the main requirements for this pump, it had to be village level serviceable. With minimal training, children can reassemble and operate this hand pump. Ethiopia will build its own wells. Here's actual photo of Ethiopian well drilling operations. Again, this is an actual cartoon or caricature of our Afrodev pump. And again, that's the itemized breakdown of the pump. The second bullet, we would employ local geologists and the country representative to make sure we're in compliance. And this will ensure that we don't run into any roadblocks, because we don't want to get there and not be allowed to install the wells because of a disagreement, a land dispute, or non-compliance of our equipment. For sustainability, for the 10 wells, we will have the assembly of what's called the WASHCO, the Water Sanitation and Hygiene Committee. It will be staffed by 7 villagers, and we hope to have that composition of women as well, to include them in the process as chair, treasurer, and technicians. They will be responsible for the O&M and the maintenance of the Afrodev pumps. The economic impact, less hygiene-related illnesses. Women will have more opportunity to participate in school and the workforce, and there will be a cultural shift to pursue other human comforts, since thirst is no longer an issue. How will we select who gets a well? Well, to try to avert any confusion, we prefer that Ethiopia pre-selects 50 candidate well sites. We prefer that Ethiopian officials prioritize the 10 most worthy villages from the pool of 50 sites. Here's a quarterly breakdown of the 2-year plan: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Phase 1, months 1 through 6, we would do the administrative and the legal rollout. Phase 2, months 6 through 12, we'll drill the initial 5 wells, and in phase 3, we drill the 6 through 10 wells. How do you calculate social ROI? Well, unfortunately, Miss Apple, you're probably not going to be able to give you your money back. But the impact that your donation would have in Ethiopia would be tenfold. Here's a simple calculation that we've come up with. For every dollar invested, the project will generate an estimated $100 in social value. Let's break it down further. Gender empowerment, wow. Of the 3,000 total villagers that these 10 wells would support, let's divide that by 2 roughly. So 1,500 women. 1,500 women and girls, 4 hours a day saved, 365 days a year. With the 50-cent value adder, your $50,000 investment would equate to $1 million in social value. Again, that's not a physical check, but Ethiopia would really prosper because of these wells. In conclusion, imagine being directly responsible for the water securement of over 3,000 persons in the 10 remote Ethiopian villages. Why hasn't Ethiopia fixed this problem themselves? I can only hypothesize. Let's resolve this issue. Instead of standing by idly, let's partner together to solve Ethiopia's water crisis by investing in well-deemed equipment that can be used to supply potable water to 10 worthy villages. Join me in the fight to water Ethiopia. Ethiopia. Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Apple, would you kindly be donating tonight?
I will go.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Apple.